Hey, everybody. Welcome to the ABC's RPGs. I'm your host this week, and we're going to be playing a fun game called Werewolf the Apocalypse, which has just been reacquired by Renegade Studios, but still exists in the universe created by White Wolf, the original publisher, called The World of Darkness. I will be your storyteller. My name is Justin. My pronouns are he, him. I'm going to go through the rest of my troupe now. They can introduce themselves.
I'll start. I'm closest to Justin in right to left order, top to bottom. So I'm Dalton. I also have he, him pronouns, and I'm excited to get to be a wolf man today. Dan, you're up next.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. What's up, everyone? I'm Dan. I also have he, him pronouns, and I'm also excited to be a wolf man today. So, I believe, without further ado, Spencer.
Hey everybody, welcome to ABC's RPGs. Yeah, I'm Spencer, pronouns he, him. I'm excited to be a wolfman, but specifically maybe like a Wolfman of London type scenario. Anyways, I'm very excited to introduce my character and get going. But we also have Ashley.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley. My pronouns are she, her. And I am super pumped for this campaign. And to be different, I'm excited to be a woman wolf instead of a wolf woman. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's monster mash. So first, we want to start off. There is a mature themes advisory on this stream. If you're just turning it in, you kind of skipped over that part of where we posted it. There will be issues of suicide, violence, self-harm, animal abuse, murder.
Moida.
Lots of moida.
Not the Moida.
Yeah. Dark arts. So if any of that triggers you, this may not be a particular stream for you, although we will be using things like veils for some of the more gruesome aspects of play. We will not be going into the gory details of much of what's happening, because I don't feel like doing that. That's gross.
Well, that's not why I came here.
I came here for the violence. Now, the World of Darkness is a world much like our own, but maybe taken to a bit of an extreme. We don't even really have to turn up the emotion or the environmental destruction that's going around, the abuse on the planet by corporations. It is, however, a world of cooler colors and less light. If you're having trouble visualizing what that might look like, there is a film called Underworld that would really help set the tone for you. Also, a lot of the more recent kind of Netflix horror stuff would really help you set the tone of the World of Darkness. I'd like to think that a lot of that stuff kind of occupies the World of Darkness. The basic storyline of the metaphysical of this world is that there are three forces that used to work in concert with each other: the Wild, the Weaver, and the Worm. You can kind of, if we break these down to very, very quick elements, it is a creation, the enforcement of structure on that creation, and then the entropy that ensues. And that would be the Wild, the Weaver, and the Worm, respectively. Long ago, these three forces worked in harmony. Things would be born, they would grow and flourish, seeds would become trees, those trees would fall, and from those felled trees, new trees would arise, right? Circle of life. Lion King, etc. Disney, don't sue me.
Everything the light touches.
No, not everything the light touches. Light touches nowhere. It's a world of darkness, Spencer.
Oh no!
Also, in the world of darkness, there is a sense of bleakness, a more nihilistic and less absurd approach to life in general. One of the things that threw the world out of balance was the advent of mankind. As humans grew and began establishing things like cities, felling forests to build the cities, etc., so too did our appetite for general destruction and cruelty, feeding the weaver and the worm, and throwing off the natural order. In response to this, Gaia, Mother Earth, imbued or sent spirits to the world in physical form. These spirits were the kinfolk, which is a way of saying various shapeshifters. Now, the current version doesn't go into too many details about the other shapeshifting creatures, the kin, but the chief among these beings were the garou, or werewolves. They were sent to keep man in check, humans in check. The problem is that, like any being given power, especially unchecked power, they began to abuse that power, falling to their, we can call it, more human. Oh, we just got a thing.
Oh, just ignore that. I'm gonna block them.
Boo. Yeah, block them.
Oh, was it a Standbot?
Yeah.
They are aptly named burdensome. The garou began to, as cities started to grow, the garou began to slaughter humans mercilessly as they saw their forests felled and fields tilled so that more humans could grow. This led to a period of war between the garou and the humans once the humans discovered the effect of silver, being able to permanently injure garou. And that's a basic background of what's happened. And then humans fought back. The garou realized they needed a more subtle hand in protecting Mother Earth. Until the point it got out of hand, and we are where we are now in modern society, where we are on the brink of ecological collapse. This time has the werewolves in the apocalypse. Now, garou culture is very interesting. They borrow a lot from world mythology. They had a lot of wonderful writers from various backgrounds, including the peoples of the First Nations. So there's a lot of influence there. We are going to do our best to be respectful of the traditions and histories of the first people. And if you are a member of one of these communities, please let us know if we're doing a good job or where we're kind of messing up. There will be no owls, which for those of the audience, owls are bad luck creatures. And much of the First Nations.
I didn't realize that.
Yep, that's why if you watch Reservoir Dogs, all the owls' eyes are blurred out, so they can't be watching you and bring in bad lucks.
Dang.
Which, if you haven't seen Reservation Dogs, please go do. It's a very, very good show. It's fantastic. It's great. Anyway, garou culture, despite being creature, is full of kind of duality. You'll see a theme of duality running through the world of darkness, especially in Werewolf. The garou are creatures of great violence, yet their social structures are highly rigid. There are rituals and rites for almost every social interaction. And this is done in part to keep them, to adhere to these rules is to keep faux pas and mistakes being made that would cause offense and result in more bloodshed. Because the only thing that the garou like fighting more than agents of the worm are each other.
Mhm.
I think that's a fair assessment of garou culture. Highly rigid, highly hierarchical. Now, moving on to maybe some of the more core differences. Many of you who are watching may be very familiar with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, which may have been your first role-playing game. This game is wildly different from D&D. And one of those major differences is that instead of the dungeon master telling you kind of what's happening and you have options, this is a much more collaborative storytelling style where I, the storyteller, will be working with my troupe to create a fun and engaging story for all of us that we get to play in. So much less of a game structure and more of an improv acting structure. That being said,
Yes, and.
That being said, there are still quite a few rules. Then one of the nice things I think about this game is that a lot of the, anytime you want to do something, there is a system and a rule, most of the time anyway. There's a system and rule structure put in place for it. One of the nice things, I think, to kind of counterbalance all of these checks and ways to handle things in game structure is that the structure, the system itself is actually fairly simple. You have the game only uses one kind of die, as opposed to, if you were more familiar with D&D, uses your D10s. No other dice are required. So you don't really need a lot of dice to play the game, which is cool. And if you were playing on a virtual tabletop, you only need to use the one. Yes, thank you, Spencer.
Yes.
And you have a pool of dice, which means that so your attributes and your skills, instead of getting a proficiency bonus and whatever, adding in a bunch of things, you have generalized skill sets, like a strength attribute that goes, and each of these go 1 through 5. 5 pips that you have access to. Each pip represents a dice that you can have access to. And you would roll a pool of 0 or 1 to 10 die to see if you can have to see how many successes you would get. And the more successes you get, the more competently you accomplish a task. So as opposed to D&D, where you either do it or you don't do it, there is gauging for how well or how poorly you do a task. Of course, they do have things like critical successes and critical failures. They call them kind of different things, but for our purposes, just today, while we're teaching you how to learn it, especially if you're coming from that D&D realm, we're going to kind of use a little bit of the similar language just to help you all learn how to play the game a little bit more efficiently or easily. There are also internal effects, external effects. So if your character is drunk, their dexterity score, they might be losing dice from their dexterity score. Or there's also external effects, like you're in a situation where you're in a war zone, and you're trying to do something that requires concentration. You might be losing dice. You might also be gaining dice, depending upon what's happening in the scenario. There are also things that help the game move a little bit more quickly than D&D normally would. the idea combat is one of those things. Really only supposed to last 3 rounds, generally speaking. Now, if you have a party that's really kind of hyped to do combat, you can extend that, but that's not the way it's really kind of designed to be done. Another fun tool that they have in this storytelling system is that you can take half or have auto successes, which are basically the same thing mathematically. And taking half means that if your dice pool or the difficulty check is half of your dice pool, then you can just kind of do it. It's just something you can do. You're capable. Likewise with auto successes, where if your dice pool is twice the DC, you can just go ahead and do it. Again, the intent here is to kind of move the story along so that you guys can move through it, or you all can move through it quickly and focus more on storyline and not get bogged down in a bad roll of the die. That's the real intent here. Is if you should be able to do it, you should be able to do it. And you shouldn't just, unless it's going to kind of really impact the story, you shouldn't just get screwed over because you got a 1 on something you should have normally been able to do. The storytelling is generally structured as a 3-act setup. Your sessions may run through just 1 act or may run through the whole 3 acts, depending upon how your troop goes through things, how quickly they go through things. Another fun thing about this is you're encouraged to fit important things. If the characters miss a piece of information that's kind of important, it is you as the storyteller to make sure that they know this because it's important for the storyline. It's something they should be knowing. So if they miss it in one scene, you should try and figure out how to put it in the next scene or the scene after so they can have access to the information. That will help move the story along. Likewise, when you're doing non-player characters, they shouldn't be getting bogged down in nonsense. Think about it like a storyline. There's going to be your NPCs are going to be doing a little bit of exposition. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Sometimes you need it to help move the story along. But again, storytelling is paramount to kind of the dice rolls and stuff like that. This also will take place very much so in the theater of mind. And if you're not familiar with that phrase, that means your imagination. That is a fancy way for saying imagination. So unlike other RPGs, specifically D&D, that comes with the minis and the maps and all that fun stuff, this really just exists in your collaborative imaginations. I think I've addressed everything I want to address right now. Character creation, which was done in our session 0, I think, a couple weeks ago. So we won't spend too much time on that. That's right. We did that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you set up your attributes based on a array. There isn't really a point buy system. I mean, you could, but it's the way that it's set up is an array where you choose if your character is going to be a little bit more physical, a little bit more social, or a little bit more mental. And then you pick your skills based on the array as well. You have a little bit of freedom there, and then you pick advantages and disadvantages, which are kind of fun, fine-tuned tweaks that your character can make. So I will let my troop, introduce their characters. Dalton, since you're to my right as I'm looking at our stream, do you want to just kick us off and then we'll go clockwise? We'll go Dalton, Dan, Ashley, and finish off with Spencer.
Sounds good. How much about our characters do you want us to go into? Do you want us to do just what they look like, who they are? Do you want us to go over their first change or how in depth?
Yeah. Let's try and be fairly brief, okay. But give us give us the highlights.
Cool. So I'm going to be playing as a character named Benny Grebe. His auspice is the Arun, which is like the combat, fighty, aggressive type of auspice, and he's in the Gale Stalkers tribe, which is kind of focused on like hunting, pursuit, like focusing in on one particular thing and going after that particular thing.
Wait, Dalton, let me interrupt you real quick.
Mhm.
So those of our players who are following along, or viewers, to put this a little bit more in terms of that 5e kind of mechanics, think about your tribe as your race when you're doing character creation, and your auspice is your class.
Mm-hmm.
Please continue, Dan. Thank you.
Yeah. Benny he's got kind of like messy black hair, wears like heavier material, kind of like to stand up to like wear and tear better.
You can see him in our banner on YouTube and Twitch.
And I said that he has resting scary face. If you're familiar with like a church grim, maybe kind of like that looking, in like his more doggy form. Church grim being kind of like I would probably say that what's his face in Harry Potter is kind of based off of a church grim.
Sirius Black.
Sirius Black. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The big shaggy dog.
Yeah. But he kind of like sees himself as kind of like an internal enforcer for the garou litany, like their internal like code. He kind of like keeps an eye out for people breaking the code and goes after them when they do. I think Dan, you're up next.
Batman.
What,
Yeah.
what, Ashley?
So,
So you're Batman.
Not quite, but yeah, kind of Batman-y.
I'm kind of
Some-
Batman.
somewhat Batman-y.
Yeah. More like Red Hood.
Ooh.
25% Batman, 75 Red Hood.
Red Hood is Batman, but shoots pew-pews, shoots guns.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have that
That's right.
kill
Okay.
restriction.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to interject real quick, but I learned a new word that Justin said earlier, pip. I didn't realize pip was a term used for counting, easily small but easily countable items, such as dots and dominoes and dice.
Yeah.
The symbols on a playing card denotes the value. Had no idea that was a word, and so I was looking it up, and when I found out, pip is also used in slang, for British slang, to wound or kill, especially with a gun.
Oh yeah, you got a pip.
Yeah. So I just wanted to interject that.
Referring to a small entry wound.
Anyways, I
Interesting.
think it's Dan's turn.
Yeah. So, what up, everyone? My name's Dan. I already said that earlier. I'm playing as a character named Kevin. That's it.
Hi, Kevin.
Just Kevin. That's all. That's all he's willing to give anyone. He doesn't want to give any personally identifying information now. Anything that you can look up, anything about him with. He'll tell you
Last name
details of
Kevin.
his life, but never enough that you can piece together. Kevin doesn't have a last name, just Kevin. You ask him for his last name, he'll say, "I'm just Kevin."
So first name Jess, last name Kevin.
Yeah. Sure. There you go. So he is a glasswalker. And glasswalker is all kind of about like the new tech werewolves, like probably closer to the human side of things than the werewolf side, right? And the auspice I picked was Ragabash, which is, I believe, all about kind of being like sneaky and whatnot. So
The auspice of the new moon.
Of the new moon, yes. So Kevin's moment of turning was when he got a very frustrating. He was a like very high up security engineer for a tech company called Bitter, and he got an email notifying of him being laid off and just fucking lost it. He flipped his desk and wolfed out. So yeah, but he worked from home, so he flipped his desk in his home, and that's when he turned to his only touchstone, Gary, his apartment doorman. So there you go.
So does Gary know your garou?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you destroy anything like your computer?
Oh, I assure
in a
you.
bit of rage?
I assure you.
I assure you he did. He needed a whole new, there was construction that needed to be done, new toilet, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. But Gary,
better.
He showed up. He was like, I had 5 huskies. I just had to get rid of them.
yeah, yeah. Gary smoothed it over with, I was able to stay in my apartment. Like I had to get, yeah, okay. That works.
We had to bribe a few people.
Anyway, who is up next? I believe Spencer, you?
Ashley.
Next.
Oh, is
All right,
Ashley
go.
next?
Ashley is next.
So, well, sorry. There's 2 ways to interpret we could either do it clockwise or by reading it. So
Yeah, but Justin already said clockwise.
Clockwise.
God.
I didn't hear that because I didn't pay attention to Justin.
All right. Ashley, kick us off.
Hi. I'm still Ashley. My pronouns are still she, her. And I am playing a character named Taiga. Which is Taiga, the biome, the foresty frozen biome, not to be confused with a slang term for tiger. Just
Or the rapper Taiga.
Yes, this is important.
Spelled
completely differently.
T-A-I.
You guys do live in Rack City, though. No, I'm kidding.
My auspice is the Theurge, which is basically the Mystics. And then my tribe is Heartwarden, because Taiga is all about the Heartwardens are all about being stewards of nature, protecting land, things like that. And Taiga is unique in that she is actually wolf-born. So she started as a wolf, and she was being her pack of wolves that she was a part of was being watched by a local scientist, and she was sedated for one of those placing of a GPS tracker collars. And that was her trigger for turning. Her body felt like it was under attack, so she turned. And she was devastated because she unfortunately murdered the scientist in the process. Which sucks because her and her pack had learned to kind of respect this scientist and be like, oh, she's not like all the other humans. She's not bothering us. She's cool. So she wanders into town, naked, cold, covered in blood, confused. She doesn't understand what's going on because she's never been a human before, and a very sweet old lady named Agatha took her in, and that is her only human touchstone. And she does have another touchstone, being her now grown pup. She had a litter of puppies, and the runt is Little Paw, who is her other touchstone. So, other fun facts about Taiga being a wolfborn: she's illiterate. So this is going to be fun for me to try and play this character and exploring what it's like to, not grow up as and what she may or may not know and culture and things like that.
I love how that's like a flaw you could actually take and then just work that into your background so flawlessly.
I know, it's so cool.
Excellent.
Awesome. Spencer, your turn.
Yeah, so I, Spencer, am playing a garou named Z Osmond. The concept for him was I put down wise philanthropic hard ass. And the reason why I chose that concept is because I wanted his auspice to be a philodox. His philodoxes represent the role. They change under the sign of the half moon, and they are the judges and arbiters of garou society. They are the auspice with the responsibilities of mediating conflict by wisely interpreting the ways of the werewolves. So, like social order, a lot of those rituals that Justin mentioned earlier. My guy's the kind of guy who enforces that. Is like, hey, stop it! No, we're doing this. All right, let's do like the what's the one rite where you like all get together and basically just like clown on somebody? That one. Like, let's all do that. So.
Oh, the rite of shaming.
That's yes. So yeah. So
Great.
so there's that. I like to imagine that Z is pretty close with Dalton's garou, just because he needs an enforcer to like help hunt down people and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. You interpret the laws, and I execute on your interpretations.
Cute.
Yes, I read that here that you fucked up. Benny, get him. But yeah.
Benny.
I know you keep like saying like, you know, like arbiting and stuff like that, but I'm just picturing your character with like a little water spray bottle and just going up to the and like no, bad dog.
So yeah, so he does that. His tribe is the children of Gaia, which they're kind of like all about kind of like finding out the mysteries of Gaia, because Gaia, like you'll hear mentions of like Gaia being this like cry that all garou can hear and stuff like that. And so there's not a lot known about Gaia herself. Is it herself, Justin? I wasn't sure her pronouns, but
I think Gaia's
God's
like
a woman.
beyond pronouns. Seems so silly when you exhibit, like you break the law, like the rules of time and space don't apply to you. Gender seems like such a petty concept. But I think traditionally, yes, she, when referring to Gaia with a pronoun, the she is the correct pronoun.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of children of Gaia are all about like discovering mysteries, artifacts, discerning the true nature of like trickster spirits or whatnot, but also healing puzzles and stuff like that. So that's kind of like their whole thing. So I really like that. And their patron spirit is the unicorn. So I'm playing this kind of like hard ass that also grew up in a tribe that's all about like, you know, healing and empathy and stuff like that. I think that's cool. Some of the other things, I'll before I get into my touchstones, I'll talk about my first change like everybody else did. As part of my background, I chose like a day job, safe house, and stuff like that. Basically, I work at a environmental organization, a nature conservatory called Conserving Nature. It's not very unique, but hey, that's the name I chose. And then I heard the howl of Gaia herself, or their self. And that's when I had my first change. Unfortunately, it was like later on at night. Obviously, half moon was out. I was working late at Conserving Nature, and my wife, Mary, had stayed with me to help me out. And in that change, she passed. So I would
say you murdered her.
Yeah, I don't think she passed. It's passive voice doing a lot of work in that sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say in that sense, we might talk about how he feels about Werewolf, definitely being a garou and stuff like that. I would say Z probably didn't from that had a very violent awakening and doesn't really. He views it as a curse, probably more so, but because how his business plays into it and how he's very passionate about the environment, when business needs to get done, he does think of especially the Kronos form as being a very useful form for getting progress done, I would say. But for his touchstones, he has 3: Lizzie, Bill, and Sadie. Lizzie is his sister. Kind of after his wife passed away, Lizzie kind of like stepped in and like kind of helps him out a lot more. Kind of it takes on like more of a caretaker role because Z was kind of in a depressive state afterwards, obviously. Bill is one of his top workers at Conserving Nature and a good friend, but Z had a partner long ago, which me and Justin are still. I gave Justin free reign to kind of like whatever, because this is a part of my flaw. Whatever this infamous partner did to kind of to sully the bad nature of Conserving Nature, to kind of like maybe he went a little too far in the eco-terrorism or something like that. But basically, because Bill is such a good worker at Conserving Nature, I worry he may also go too far as well. And then Sadie is just an elderly woman I play chess with in the park. Like, very simple. Like, she kind of helped get me out of that depressive funk by like establishing a consistent thing where I can just go and have these nice chats with this simple old lady. So, touchstones mechanically are like a way to kind of like,
They tie you to the human world.
Yeah,
that is what a touchstone is supposed to be. It is a
Yeah.
Garu's way to tie themselves and keep their humanity intact.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that's Z. So
awesome.
Can I ask a question about?
Of course.
Yeah.
So I since you like murdered your wife in a public, like a building, like did the cops come after you?
Oh, definitely. I like to think, and Justin, you feel free to correct me. I like to think that because of the vicious nature of the garou, that I could have said it was a wolf attack or something like that, and maybe the authorities would have believed me. But there's
the forensic evidence highly suggested that no human being could have done to your wife what was done to her.
I do like to think there is one cop on the squad that absolutely believes I did it, but doesn't know how to prove it. I absolutely believe that.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
There's one guy who's like, this guy fucking murdered his wife. He is awful.
Oh yeah. No, she thinks you did it. She's just not quite sure how to prove it.
Yeah.
Because, she was ripped in half.
Yeah.
And there's claw marks all around the rips and giant tooth marks. So, it's not really, the forensic evidence isn't on her side, and it was written off as an animal attack.
Yeah. But no, absolutely good question.
I don't know. Bear must have just wandered into Columbus, Ohio and just murdered your wife. We don't, I mean,
office. Into the
office, just walked into the office. Weird. Nobody really remembers what happened. Everybody's just like, I blacked out. I went crazy.
How did it get on the elevator?
Yes.
Actually
always important things to acknowledge while we're doing this. Viewers, the garou have 5 forms that they can assume. The Hamid, which is their human form, why am I blanking?
It's okay. It's on the character sheet. We also have the in-between, the Glabro.
The Glabro, which is a little bit more like kind of like that Bela Lugosi Wolfman of the 30s, Yeah.
No,
well, no, because he goes like full Krynos.
Oh, he does. Okay, never mind.
I was going to say that one movie about basketball.
Yes, Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf.
Yes, your Glabro form is much like your Teen Wolf. The Krynos, which is the full formed, when you think of a werewolf viewer, that's the Krynos form. Then there is the Hispo form, which is a dire wolf of sorts. And the Lupus form, which is your regular wolf form. Also, keep in mind, viewers, when you are in these, when you were in Lupus form, you're still a wolf. And if you've never seen a wolf up close compared to a dog, it's not even a question. Like, the only way you would confuse these two is if they were very far away. And even then, you would have to have confused it for an Akita or a Malamute or
Like a
something like
Malamute,
that. Yeah. Because it's a big dog.
Yeah.
But, only at far ranges, would you think? The Hispo form would be terrifying to behold. Speaking of which, humans have a inherent and latent fear of the Krynos form. It messes with our brains. We go into an unreasonable flight stage where our higher cognitive functioning kind of turns off. And we don't remember really seeing. We just will try and rationalize or say it was a dream or a drug-fueled hallucination or something. We will do unreasonable jumps in our logic to tell us that what we saw was not a werewolf.
Caused by a lot of ancient history.
Is that only the Krynos form that that causes delirium?
I think the delirium is also caused by the Hispo form.
On the
character sheet, and it only says it under Krynos.
No, yeah, just the Krynos. Just the Krynos.
You might I think maybe there's the status condition delirium that causes humans to go fucking nuts. But in general with the other forms, there's a low level unease.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of your social tests in Hispo form are penalized.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see.
Fun thing to note is that fellow wolves also get freaked out by you. So not just
you're not
people.
natural.
The wolves are also this ain't right.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call wolves fellow wolves. We're not wolves. You are,
yes.
But we're not wolves or humans. We're something else entirely.
We're in between.
Yeah.
We don't belong with either anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since we've covered that, we've talked about touchstones and the 5 forms. We will get into rage checks later. Rage check. Your rage is a stat that you have that allows you to call upon, and rage is not just being angry. This is a inner passion that supersedes the known limits of human emotion. A primal passion for Gaia and within yourself that is just a fire that cannot be quenched unless you use it all up. Mechanically speaking, it allows you to access gifts or rights sometimes, which are special things that you're, kind of think of them like powers, as well as being able to shift to the other forms. You will also have to stay in these forms and stay sane. You need to do what are called rage checks. Failing a rage check results in a frenzy, which means that you go from a agent of Gaia capable of higher reasoning to a wild, possessed, furious, and bloodthirsty beast, murdering friend and foe alike. Unable to reason. The wild takes complete hold of you and you give in to your rage entirely. Yeah. Okay. So, in the back of the the core book that you get in Appendix 2, there is a small intro adventure called No Matter How Small, which takes you through a small, localized, very personal journey for your troop. It can be expanded into more of a longer campaign if you and your troop would like to do so. But for our intents and purposes, I believe we're just going to try and keep it to one little concise thing, play through the No Matter How Small, and be done with it. One of the nice things that this system allows you to do is there is no alternate. I mean, it takes place in a somewhat parallel universe to our own, where either everything's the same or maybe there were some key differences, but largely things are very similar. We have the internet, we have big companies that are not behaving like we would want them to do. Pollution is a massive rampant problem, everything.
Global warming,
all that.
The apocalypse.
Right. Now, the other thing that's a little different here is the notion of the Umbra. The Umbra you can think of as the spirit world. Garou possess the unique ability to be able to sometimes cross that veil and enter this spirit world where things are personified, anthropomorphized sometimes into beings. So if anybody watching is familiar with some of the lore of the First Nations, concepts like bear, there is a spirit who is bear, and they are all bareness into a single being, much like raven and jackal and all of that. Meanwhile, individual ravens and jackals may appear, either just kind of almost identical to what they are in the physical world, or maybe slightly different. A toxic, a garbage dump outside of a city may appear as a festering wound on the landscape, a tumor. Likewise, other holy sites like these things called cairns, which are holy sites for the Garou, may appear as shining beacons, peaceful glades, even if that's not how they look in the real world. A lot of this is really up to you as the storyteller. So feel free to kind of tweak and make the Umbra your own. Have a lot of fun with it. So that sort of thing. A pipeline spilling toxic, maybe a bleeding wound into a river, or a river spirit has a gaping wound on their side. That sort of thing. Again, these are all just my kind of these are examples just based on my personal opinion after reading the handbook. I think are ready to start the story, unless anybody has any other questions about anything right now.
Do we start out with any rage? Because I know having 0 rage is a big thing. So
yeah, you should. I think was it out of 5?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody starts with 3 rage.
3? Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yep.
So I have a feature called Moon Riled, which means I gain an additional point of rage at the first howl of the moon. So does that mean I start with 4 or?
No, I mean you have to howl at the moon.
3.
That's what you want to do. And then you will go to 4.
So did we?
Or we can say you will
howl
start
at the moon to get the 3 rage? I guess.
Yeah. Let's say that you use your gift. You all started with 2 rage. Now you have 3 rage.
I don't have that gift, so I start with 2 rage.
Oh, actually, does your thing not apply to other players?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, everybody has. Well, then actually, you have 4.
Okay.
So you're angry.
almost too angry.
Yeah. So you players, you need to. Yeah, there is such a thing as having too much rage. The good thing is when your rage is fairly high, you have more dice to make your rage checks with. So you can stay in your Krynos form more readily. You are at less risk, generally speaking, of frenzy, which is a little counterintuitive, I understand. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. Much of the lore, though, viewers, is kind of thrown out the window, with the exception, of course, of silver. Silver being one of the things that can injure garou permanently or in a substantial fashion. Because there are two types of damage: superficial and aggravated. Human beings, as they exist, and generally speaking, animals, natural animals. A superficial damage would be something maybe like a sprain or a bruise, being embarrassed when we're talking about willpower damage, and like really embarrassed to the point where like you go home and kind of sulk. We've all had days at work where we suffer 1 or 2 willpower damage and we need to just crawl into bed and
mental health day.
Mental health day is required the next day. Yeah. So, that, and aggravated damage for a human being would be things like actual lacerations or, ballistic wounds, anything like that. For garou, the hardy beings that they are, even in their human form, do not suffer damage like mortals do, and can shrug off wounds that would normally kill a human being. The exceptions, of course, are particularly silver and fire. Now, while in human form you don't have the silver allergy, but when in, say, Krynos form, or actually any of the other forms, I think except for lupus, maybe lupus. Let me double check that real quick on your character sheets. The simply touching silver or anything silver, from a silver blade to a silver cross. So your lupus form, you also have the silver immunity. When you are in, quote, a natural state, you can touch silver without receiving aggravated damage. The mere touch of silver in one of your garou forms, true garou forms, would cause damage, aggravated damage.
I did find in the book where it mentions like starting rage.
Thank you, Dalton.
It's page 132, just towards like the beginning of the rage section. It says starting value for rage is determined by the narrative situation. A garou who isn't involved in an ongoing conflict and has had a good night's sleep starts at 1, whereas opening in medias res, like with a fight or flight situation, would yield player characters 3. If questions arise, assume a starting rage value of 2. So basically 1, 2, or 3, depending on how in immediate danger the characters are.
Yeah, so we're going to stick with the 2, except for Ashley, who will have 3. The reason you are going to have 2 is because and you have been preparing for a very special rite, or you are going into a ceremony called your rite of, I think it's Ascension.
Ooh. By the way,
Ascension. Sorry.
I know normally when we shapeshift, we lose our clothes. Except I took the rite of dedication that I can also perform not only on myself but other people. So anybody who wants to be spiritually attuned to like one pair of clothes, I can do that too. So that way they don't rip when you transform.
I imagine that Tyga comes up to you with this offer, and she's already wearing tattered clothes. Like the jeans that she's wearing are like jean shorts that have been ripped.
Yeah, like hulked out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a wolf. You
got,
really
like, a
don't have this
very-
taboo about being naked. You don't understand what the big deal
So
is.
she has like this white tattered shirt, and she just comes up to you, and she's like, "I like these clothes."
No, we should. Tyga, we should really get you something else. I mean, I can perform it for now, but you know, why don't I take you out? We can get some nicer clothes for you.
What's wrong with these?
They like, they're a little rough around the edges. You know.
She doesn't.
Why you guys even need clothes?
But it's about decency. Oh my gosh, how do I explain this to you?
We don't have fur to
There's
cover
the-
our bits like you do.
I have fur down there.
Chest too.
Yes. What? Yes.
I don't know if there's inspiration, but you get a point or whatever. I don't know. Give yourself one bonus die to a willpower roll. You use that whenever. Well done.
Oh man.
I think we all need
Yeah,
to take a second to recover from the psychic damage we just took.
So you
I don't think any of us are allowed to rebut to that either. You know, just like just immediate brick wall.
So where you are all now is a cairn. This will be taking place in the city of Columbus, Ohio. Talking about small differences in the world. The wolves in Ohio were not hunted to extinction in the late 1800s, and wolves still roam fairly freely around Ohio at this point in the far reaches of the state. You are actually being taken to a special cairn in the heart of what's the big park in the southeast with the old man rock?
Oh, like down in Hocking Hills?
Wayne
Hocking
National
Hills.
Forest?
Thank you.
Okay, well then,
No,
yeah.
Hocking Hills. You are taken to a special cairn, which is a cairn of great renown for your rite of passage. An older wolf, an older person steps forward and lays their hand on Tyga's shoulder. The humans are finicky when it comes to clothing. The weaver has taught them to be ashamed of their bodies.
So
Truly ashamed. It is very strange. But you must, with your new pack, cub, you must learn to blend with the humans. One of these is you must put on the cloths. Clothes.
I'd like to imagine if you guys look over to Z, he's in his full suit and like tie, and he has one of those like sticky brushes, and he's like getting a point off his shoulder.
And Kevin is next to Z, like, hey, can I borrow that after you? Because like he's also wearing a suit and tie.
Yeah, here you go. Yes.
Yeah. Like trying to get. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me get your back.
Okay, sweet. You get me, and then I'll.
This is no time for grooming. We must perform the rite of passage, lest I perform the rite of shame.
No, anything but that. All right, sorry. Yes.
We're good.
Tap their staff, their walking stick on the ground twice. Come. We must perform the rite. While the moon is high. Come. And he leads you to this glade by a waterfall. He says, "Enter the sacred waters. Come." And he takes some sort of poultice and he makes your sign, your moon sign on your foreheads.
Ah.
Enter the waters and feel Gaia's presence. And around you, there is other garou. It's a pretty big gathering, especially by garou standards, of playing drums, and particularly drums, some other instruments, and it's somewhat soothing yet high energy at the same time. And he blows some dust into the air, and the waters began to shimmer. And your token spirits, you see almost in front of you, kind of split four ways. The token spirits running forward through the umbra, as if running toward the water as a glass plate. And as they exit as they head toward, they begin to pull the water with them, and it shimmers rainbow styley a little bit, like almost like oil on the pavement, as they kind of pull themselves up and into your being and fuse them, and your signs begin to glow. The older garou erupts into their Krynos form and lets forth a furious howl, and that shakes the waters. And they kind of, almost like a liquid ferrous sort of undulation to them. Smooth out. Again, the garou cries out, "Show us, Gaia, what wrongs must be righted. What task do we give these cubs to earn their place in our society?" And howls again, and the waters go completely still. The drums seem to fade out until you four can't hear them anymore. What it sounds now like a heartbeat in the back of your minds, as you no longer seem to be anywhere, not the Umbra, not this. And almost like a hologram seems to arise in front of you, and you see a small child winning a class president award. He's shaking, and an older man shakes the child's hand and goes, "I see great things for you, Mr. Fuck's your name? Rickard. I see great things in you, Rickard. You have a career in politics. The children seem to love you. Use this for good." And he seems to be doing well, and he wins, and he joins. You see him at being elected to his Democrats for America thing in college, but flashes by, and you see this pale-skinned man with a very weak chin, losing to a real kind of JFK type when it came to a city comptroller position. And you see him again losing he runs for a alderman position, and he loses that as well. And then you see him kind of losing these elections for lesser positions. And then you see him in his home saying, "Oh, they're always Everybody's out to get me. I'll show them. I'll show them all. I just need one win to make it all happen. And everything's coming up, Muller. I'll show 'em.
Har.
What's this? I just need a little more. I need a little more help. And then you see him sleeping. And he seems to fall away. And you see this shadow speaking to him. You just need to be more ambitious. There are books available to you, methods you could learn. I could teach you. We could help each other. Well, who are you? Just a friend. I want what's best for you. I want you empowered. I can show you ways to achieve that power. Hey, what would I have to do? Oh, you've read a little bit so far on ways of gaining favor, shifting fortunes. You've been to the readers and seers. You know that they can bring you nothing. I can show you true power. What would I have to do? I'm glad you asked. And then it fades. You see him some months later winning a small election at a local horticulture club. Cheers, pats on the back, gardens restored, him gaining momentum. You see him being thrilled at receiving an email. I've done it. This is the project I need. This is the springboard. This is the springboard that I need. First this, then Mayor of Columbus. It's finally happening. You see the shadow. There are two yellow eyes in a shadow, or in a dark corner of the apartment he's in. Yes, only a small sacrifice will be required. We will teach you the ways. You hear a thunderclap, and suddenly you're back in. All of you falling back into this thunderclap comes as you all fall back into the water, unable to stand, released from this trance-like being, this trance-like state. As you emerge from the water, you see the music has stopped, and you see concerned looks on all of the other Garu's face as they look back toward the east.
Really cool moment to break up the connection there, internet.
I wasn't sure if that was just me. No, Justin.
No.
Justin, we lost you for a second.
Justin,
am I back?
You're back.
You're back now.
Again.
Just the last part. So we fell into the water, fell back into the water.
And as you emerge, the drums have stopped. It's not silent. It's an eerie, you hear the fires crackling. The sounds of the forest in the distance. And you see your right leader very concerned, as all the garou are all in almost unison looking back toward the northwest toward Columbus. Cubs, Gaia cries. There has been a disturbance in the Umbra. Gaia calls to you, my children, to investigate what has happened. There has been a quake. I believe our seers can guide you. The first part of your rite is over. You must go to where that deviance, worm-filled atrocity has taken place and defend our mother. Go! Go, I say! Get it! Yeah. So, in all of this confusion, the remaining garou begin to put out the fires, pack up their things, and a wolf kind of comes out of the woods and morphs into a young woman. And she says, I'm glad you were here. I think we're in a bit of a bind. Hold on. Come with me. We need to do a rite of seeing. And she scatters some bones and spills some wine and waves some smoldering sage around.
While she's doing that,
Mm-hmm.
I like to imagine when we were asked to get into the water, like I had my nice suit on, so I like started taking off like my suit and like maybe try to like.
Yeah, you guys could have been nude when you walked in. It doesn't matter.
I was in my underwear, just specifically. I'm not revealing everything to everybody, but
Okay. Well, you got wet chones.
yeah, that was what I was gonna say. I like to imagine I'm still like soaked wet while she's like, "Come follow us while I do this right," and I like have my suit in my hand, but I'm like dripping and like waddling with my clothes, my suit. So, anyways, I just want to paint that picture.
While we're doing that, while we're walking over, I was gonna turn to both Z and Dan. Remind me of your character's name again.
Kevin.
Kevin. I was gonna turn to Z and Kevin, and I was gonna be like, what are elections?
So you know,
it's to determine who's in charge of the pack.
yes, just like how there's structure here in the world, there's something called a government, which makes decisions for citizens, and you elect representatives to make those decisions.
You're using too big of words.
Too big a word still?
Yeah. No. We're choosing who's in charge of the pack. Does that make sense?
By voting.
And we don't like this pack leader.
I don't think Gaia does, no.
No. We don't. So we need to make sure he doesn't get chosen.
He seems slimy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. So before we go, can I see like what dirt I can dig up on him online? Like, is that like a check?
Yeah, sure. You're not anywhere near. I mean, you have your phone.
We're in Hocking Hills still.
You're in Hocking Hills, so like yeah.
This lady was about to show.
Actually, though, man, if you check your phone, you notice it's been like 3 days.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I missed that earnings report.
You missed the earnings report.
I show him the my phone, like the time, like look
3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I'm sure I can explain that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys, I'm not sure how you're getting back to Columbus. I'm assuming.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look, guys, a cat
Sorry,
just come to visit me.
I forgot she was there.
Aw.
So the seer. Oh,
The cat spirit.
Do we know her name?
Yeah, it's Bella.
Oh no.
Yep, Bella. Her name's Bella.
All right. Her
Um,
name is Bella too. Okay.
Seer's name is
Ooh.
Bella. She's
You smell like litter box.
Oh,
We're just gonna.
there's been a I think. Well, I keep seeing a forest out to the southwest. Battery Derby? I don't. It's fuzzy. And then the city. Guy, I keep saying Franklinton. I don't understand any of what this means. I came from quite far. You.
Yeah. It's
From here.
yeah, it's okay. We know where you're talking about. It's over a point whichever way. Well, I personally am geonat challenged. I don't drive, but and I have honestly no idea where the hell we are now. But you know, I know it's close ish.
I'd recommend
That's good.
checking around there. Yes, check in Columbus with garden societies or something, forestry agencies. I'm not quite sure. You'll get more. You'll. I'm sure Gaia will present herself more to you. Trust in her guidance.
And this
I must be
representative-
gone. And as quick as she came, she was out.
Thank you, Bella.
No, she gone. Turned into a wolf and just fucked off.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, how are you getting back? Did you guys drive there?
Z definitely drove.
Okay. So y'all probably need to get into Z's car.
Would anybody like to carpool? Of course, we can all travel together.
I suppose. Yeah.
I can drive.
No, you
No.
can't.
No, Tiger. No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Why don't you
No.
just make sure you wear your seatbelt this time, please?
That's a big hard no.
And we're keeping the windows up.
Why? I like sticking my head out.
No, it's
Well,
it looks
to be honest, I kind of like sticking my head out too.
no, guys. The windows stay up. Do I have you? Okay, both of you in the back. Child locks are on.
Okay. So you're driving
Never
back
been so
up
offended
toward
in my life.
Columbus from, and right about when you hit 71 and get your cell service back,
Yeah.
there's a message for you, Spencer.
Okay. Yeah, I was expecting this from work.
Yeah. Actually, it's from what's his name? Your
Bill.
Bill. It's from
Yeah.
Bill. Hey, buddy. I don't know where you are right now, but you need to give me a call back. We actually have a few people who, it's one thing for the boss not to show up, but we're actually missing a couple people from around here. From just like just a couple of employees haven't shown up for work in like 3 days, man. And we, I don't know what to do. Give me a call back, man. Where are you? Click.
Cool. I'll probably shoot him a quick text and just be like, "Hey, I'm okay. Sorry, nature retreat. Lost service. Should have gave you a heads up."
I take
and
as
then-
you're typing, I take your phone from you. You should know better than to text while driving. Tell me what to send him.
Can you just put in there like, call me back ASAP or something like that, and I go back to driving?
Yeah. I send the message for you.
You get a text back
distracted
saying,
driving
"Meet
laws.
me at the office."
You can just use voice to text to be way faster.
Well, I can do both. Anyways, I have to head to work. Bill's saying people are missing. I don't know if it has to do with anything with this Representative Mueller guy, but if you guys want to come along, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, sure.
Where do you work,
So-
Stan?
Conserving nature, the nature conservatory.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
Those are buzzwords that this year said.
It helps with the SEO, okay? When I was searching things up, when you have something and I start rambling on about search engine optimization.
My keen hunter's instincts tell me that it might be related.
So yeah, I start plotting a course back to. I like to imagine conserving nature.
How fast are you driving?
Speed limit.
Okay.
You can go 5 over in Ohio. I won't mess with you.
You can 5 to 10 over, depending on.
No, all right. You're driving about this. The point. What I'm asking is, are you racing that?
No.
It doesn't sound. It sounds like no. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So you make it to Columbus without incident. You're all based in the conservatory, so that's where you are now. You're back at Franklin Conservatory. You, of course, having keys and stuff like that, can let yourself in after hours.
Yep.
Bill is there. The fuck, man. Where were you? Jeez, you know what? It doesn't even matter. No matter. Look, Hannah, right?
Right. Yes, Hannah.
Hannah Harcourt.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Hannah's been missing for like 3 days, and people are starting to like really ask questions, and I don't have answers. Have you heard from her?
I haven't. Has any of her family reached out, or is friends? Does she have many friends here?
Yeah, well, I mean, her husband was like, I haven't seen her in 2 days. She went off to Cops West out in Battelle Darby. That project that she was working on, the restoration, where they're trying to, like beautify it, make it like less, just untouched, but more so people can, big. It was the Prop 7, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Battelle Darby.
She went out there like 3 days ago, and I don't know. She never came back.
Oh.
So, I mean, I'm about ready to. I mean, we got to let the cops know.
Give us a day. We actually have business out there, anyways. We'll head out and we'll go investigate that. And if you don't hear from us within a day, I call the cops. But for right now, let me go investigate this real quick.
All right, man. We got that meeting with Pentex coming up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How could I forget?
I know. Trying not to go to court over this, but I don't see them not doing it. Pentex is a giant corporation in the world of darkness, and they are responsible for a lot of the when you need an evil corporation to blame for stuff in the world of darkness, that's Pentex. Polluting your riverways, that's Pentex.
Yeah.
They make everything
using
from
food-like substances to create lunch meat, that's Pentex.
everything from mason jars to missiles.
Everything from mason jars to missiles.
Oh my god.
Yep. Which, of course, and I would like to say that any similarities to existing corporations in real life are purely coincidental.
Purely coincidental.
And meant for entertainment purposes only.
Yep. What were you saying?
That spirit is back again. Oh, God.
Oh, hi, Bill.
Oh, God. Ah.
The lip box.
Ellie, you can't be Garou.
Actually, so I was in the book. There is the what is it? The Eyes of Darkness or whatever, like that you can get.
The gift.
It is either granted by an owl spirit or a cat spirit. So if Justin said no owls and there is a cat spirit actively in our story.
Boom.
Oh, okay. Yep, you have a cat spirit.
You're saying I can't be Garou, but the book says otherwise, Mo. And I've got a cat to prove it.
So,
Ashley had something to say, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton, your character's name is Benny, correct?
Mhm.
I turned to Benny while Spencer's character's Z
Talking to Bill.
was I?
Z.
Z is having this conversation with Bill. And I go, you know how you told me about podcasts?
Mhm.
I've been listening to one. And it's all about the bad things that other humans do to each other. And I learned it's always the husband. So I'm worried that Hannah's husband did this. I'm very serious about it.
Okay. Hey, I'm just the storyteller. You guys, what do you guys want to do?
Can I'm gonna put like before we leave Bill, I do want to put like a hand on his shoulder and be like, Bill, thank you for bringing this up. I'm sorry about the lack of communication the past couple of days. I'm gonna be better about that. I'll give you a heads up when something like this might happen again. But thank you for everything you do. Let me go make sure she just didn't lose cell service or something. Okay.
Yeah,
And
good. Yeah, do that. I mean, she's just been spending so much time working out there. Like, her husband, she like missed some bills. Like, it's great. Like, she just forgets. I mean, like, they got him covered because, like, thankfully he was there. But like, yeah, she's just been like every weekend, all the time. Like sometimes she'll skip like because it's like a conservation project. So I let her just go do it. Right? It's good, relationship building. But like, it's getting to be a problem, and she has been acting super weird. Like I'm not a big fan of drug testing people, but we find her, we might have to.
Bill, I don't.
When she gets back, we might have to. Like, I'm just worried about her safety. She has been acting weird. She's been spending all of her time out there. Her husband says she's been really weird.
We might just need to take her off the project too. But I'll get to the bottom of this, Bill.
All right.
Don't worry.
You're the boss.
Tyga.
So
I remember
Bill exits. He's like, I don't. I don't care. He looks at you. He looks at them, and he just leaves.
So remember the rules I told you about the internet. The second rule was don't believe everything you hear on the internet, right? Remember that?
But this was on Dotify.
It's all the internet.
Oh.
Dotify.
Yeah, you really can't believe anything here.
I do have a quick question for the game master. Do we know Hannah is not a known garou to us?
No, Hannah is not known garou. Spencer would know that Hannah Harcourt is about 40 years old. She's actually one of their photographers. Does a lot of their photographic work and kind of like hands-on stuff. She did a lot of working with one of their freelance contractors, Mitchell Erickson, who helped her with a lot of the digital art and stuff like that after she would take the photographs. And her husband, Victor, is a programmer who Dan knows of but doesn't know directly. Dan's character, Kevin, knows of but doesn't know directly. Like you guys have met at like networking events. You guys are acquaintances, but not friends. Okay. So,
Perfect. Yeah.
What's next?
Well, gang, I think we should go investigate Patel Darby. Try to see if we can find Hannah out there.
You know where the work site is?
Well, I know generally.
Yeah, you do, Spencer. You kind of know about where it is because this is like because of who you are. and the type of information you have access to, you've heard of this project, you know about where it is in Bateldarb.
Perfect.
It's a remote part that they're kind of trying to beautify.
Sweet. Yeah, I definitely communicate this to the party. Just be like, yeah, this is like, maybe, I don't know if I have a map or like I show it on my phone to everybody. Like, yeah, roughly it's around this area. So,
do you have like a marked vehicle? Like, can we borrow a park services vehicle so it doesn't look suspicious that a thing is pulling up super late at night?
You're not a Fed.
Yeah. I was
I'm asking Spencer as part of like organization.
Well, yeah. Oh, I'm not sure how you want to incorporate this, Justin, but my advantage and flaws, I marked down 3 for my fame for the being the owner of conserving nature. For the day job, I marked 2, and the safe house.
Oh, yeah. You know what then? Yeah, you have a very conspicuously marked SUV that you have for when you go out and do site visits.
Cool. Then, yes, I do, Benny.
Because something that also you do is you act, conserving nature acts as environmental remediation services, third-party testing and stuff like that for some other like larger architectural engineering firms that want to outsource that kind of thing.
Oh, that's perfect. And I definitely use that to kind of showboat as part of my fame and stuff like that to kind of be like, oh, look, we're here. I'm making a speech. Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
Cool. Thanks for reminding me about your character sheet.
No, yeah. I turn to Benny and I go, Benny, yes, we can take the CN van.
Great. Don't want to deal with park rangers or anything.
Yeah, we might still be stopped, but as long as we explain that we're with conserving nature, then should be okay. I would assume so.
Yeah, you guys, your stuff is all kind of on the level. You do maybe have you have been background checked by the federal government for stuff that you've done for them. You have not important clearance, but like some minor forestry clearances.
All right.
You know, you're not DOD, but you know, you've got some, like, you definitely have some people that are also on that have Q clearance and that sort of thing, which is Department of Energy clearance. Yeah. So, yeah. You know, and we have been playing for about
hour and a half.
Do we want to give ourselves a quick restroom break? A little mid-session break? People can get water and stuff like that.
Maybe we can say we're heading to Batel.
Yeah, we're going to use this time. During this time, you have been traveling to Bateldarby, and we'll resume the scene. We'll start the new scene at Bateldarby.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, perfect. All right, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to come with some more. Try and keep it entertaining for you all. Thanks for watching. Hey, everybody, welcome back from the break. We're here. This is the ABCs of RPGs. I'm your storyteller this week. My name's Justin. He, him pronouns. I'm joined here by my troupe. I'll let them reintroduce themselves. We'll go clockwise.
Clockwise.
So I can laugh.
And they can introduce themselves really quick with their actual names, their their character names, and like a 1-sentence recap on them, just in case you weren't here at the very beginning of the stream. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Dalton, kick us off with Benny.
I'm Dalton. I've got he, him pronouns. I'm playing a Gale Stalker Garou named Benny Grebe. He also has he, him pronouns, and I have my concept as Honor Warrior.
Excellent.
What's up, everyone? My name is Dan. I have he, him pronoun. I'm playing Ragabosh Glasswalker named Kevin, just Kevin, who also has he, him pronouns. And I have no idea like where the concept list is, but my guy is just, you know, a dude who got an email one day at work saying he was getting let go and just raged. So, yeah, without further ado, Ashley.
Hi, my name's Ashley. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing a character named Tyga, who is a wolfborn garou. Her auspice is the Theurge, and she is a heart warden. And moving on to Spencer.
Hey, yes. So I am Spencer, pronouns he, him, playing a character named Z Osman, also pronouns he, him. He is his concept is a wise philanthropist, hard ass. Dan, you mentioned concept list. It's kind of pretty freeform, which is cool. You just kind of make up like a short little sentence of what you want, which is basically like what you just did. So that's kind of cool about the concept. It's just like, oh, what do I want my character to kind of be? But auspice is Philodox. Tribe is Children of Gaia. He owns a nature conservatory called Conserving Nature. I'm not sure if you wanted us to kind of recap what we just did, but I think we're on our way to Patel Derby in one of my vans. So
I'll recap real quick. We have just done kind of the players have just been formally welcomed into Werewolf Society through a ceremony. They have also learned about some one way that they earn full placement in society in the Garou Society is by going to investigate a disturbance in the Umbra, which you kind of the spirit realm, to go and check that out on behalf of the greater Garou Society. And once they have completed this task and satisfied Gaia and her needs, phrasing, and they will be full-fledged members of Garou Society. So when we're talking about character concept, it's on page 84. If you're following along with the handbook open, it's your character's thing, like a high-level hook. It's your character's elevator pitch. So some of the examples are werewolf, soldier of fortune, drug-addled shapeshifter oracle, disillusioned priest, for like a something. But nothing, but it's very, very free form. So, they really don't spend a ton of time talking about it. It's right as you get into how you make a character, and to touch just a little bit more on that when we're talking about how to play the game. When you're making your character, you really kind of want to work, from irrespective of the rules forward. Who are you as a being is really important. Like, what is your character? What do they want? Who were they before they found out that they were Garou? And then okay, so my character was a bodybuilder before they became Garou, and so a largely physical character, maybe with social and then mental, or maybe they're really smart and they're just awkward, and they like working on their body, so it'd be physical, mental, social. Cool. And so they found out that there was a disturbance, and the characters have made their way back into the city, and they got cleaned up. They spoke to one of Z's co-workers and found out that one of their subordinates has been kind of missing from work for 3 days.
Yeah.
And they don't know
Hannah.
Hannah. Her name is Hannah. Hannah Harcourt.
And nobody's filed a missing persons report for her yet? Like her husband,
not just yet.
Or family or anyone?
Yeah, I don't even really think they let you file it until 3 days after the event, which is like...
I thought it was 24 hours, but...
but it wasn't like... There wasn't like... They didn't find any evidence of foul play in the general vicinity, so... even if they had gone and talked to it, they were kind of, she also is known for wandering off into the woods for a couple days at a time. She usually checks in. She hasn't checked in. Nobody's heard from her yet. And yeah. So restoration. Bang, we're moving on to They've gone missing.
And we were driving to Patel Derby in Spencer's van.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And you're driving out into a park called Patel Derby in the labeled van of the restoration conservation conserving nature.
Well, actually, I would like to change it to something that sounds a bit better than conserving nature. So conserving now sounds great.
Cool. Conserving now.
You know how expensive a rebrand is going to be? This is a non-profit organization.
I had to change it after my.
I do not have the funds for that. You're absolutely. Yeah.
All right, Kevin's already taken care of it. He's got mobile internet. He's bringing his laptop.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Fortunately, you've got a guy who has a Canva account and just there you go. I also, my graphic designer on retainer just took care of this. So
perfect.
There you go. Rebrand successful.
I liked it.
It's nighttime, right?
Well, you guys got back at night. Are you heading right back out? What are you guys doing?
I think it was a go right back out kind of situation. It's been like cover a night.
She's missing.
She's missing. Nighttime feels like a fine enough time of day to investigate.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's true.
Okay. We'll say it's like early fall, so it's not like super gross out yet in Ohio.
Nice.
Because I don't really want you to deal with snow.
What do you think? Late October, early November, maybe?
Like mid-September. Yeah, maybe right about now. Yeah, right about now is fine.
I mean, if we go mid-September, it's going to be like 80.
Yeah, okay, so then now.
Actually, hold on. My wedding day, September 17th, 2022, was in 2022 on record the most perfect day for weather.
It was a great day.
Good weather.
Yeah.
I went back and looked it up. It was like high
scientifically the most perfect day.
Yes. Yes.
Prove that shit with me.
So yes. Mid-September is fine.
Cool. Yeah. So sometime in the fall, it's not gross yet. As you're driving though, it is late in the evening, so it has gone a few degrees down, especially without the humidity of the summer to kind of keep the heat in the air. Getting a little crisp, but not unbearable. Now, you guys are getting to, you pull up and there is absolutely no one there. The gate lock seems to be broken. Like somebody didn't get a new lock. They just kind of like put the lock over it and didn't. And then, when you guys go to investigate, it doesn't really latch anymore. Like it's been picked and kind of damaged.
Now, is this specifically at the work site that this?
Well, this is the entrance to the town. This is the entrance to the park. Usually parks are shut down pretty heavy. Which is also why we're not doing this somewhere that's a federal park, because those are locked down. You ever go to Olympic National Park? It's there's a guard stand.
Oh,
they're gonna know if you get in. But this is like a little county park.
yeah.
So
looks different.
once
Looks
you've
yeah.
entered, you pull in, you park. Door shut. You're all outside the car. All right, troop.
Do we see any other vehicles in the lot?
No. Lies. You do. You see a couple. Just, not fancy cars by any measure for sure. These are not wealthy people cars. A bit later, they weren't really fancy cars when they bought them, even when they would have been newer. Honda Civics or RAV4 kind of deal. Maybe about.
So
I guess my question is, would Zai?
I have a Nissan Altima. What the heck? Like, okay, there's a Nissan Altima and a RAV4. How about that?
I guess my question more is, does Zai Z? Is it pronounced Z specifically recognize any of the vehicles as Hannah's, since he might know what his coworker drives. He might. I mean, it's your coworker.
You know what? Why don't you give me a little checkaroo?
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Let's get our first check of the game.
I don't know all of my coworkers' cars, but like one of my coworkers drives like a custom wrapped Dodge Challenger with a vanity license plate, and I sure recognize that when I see it.
Yeah, no. Nobody has anything like that garish. But let's see, Z.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me an intelligence?
Okay, that's 3 pips for me.
Plus leadership.
That is a 2 for me. So I'm rolling 3 from intelligence and 2 from leadership. So 5 dice, 5d10.
Or yeah. Why not leadership?
Okay.
Fuck it.
So I'll go ahead and roll that and roll 20.
Mm-hmm.
So one was an 8, one was a 1, one was a 9, one was an 8, or I guess 2 8s, a 9, a 1, and the last was a 3.
Okay.
Do you add all these numbers together?
Yeah, it's cumulative. So yeah, that's a great question. So the way that Werewolf, the World of Darkness works is that you roll your dice pool. Failures subtract from successes. And I'm going to say that it was a DC 3 because you're not super familiar with it. And it may be a 4. So the way that viewers, the way that the difficulty system works is it goes 1 to 9, where a 1 is, almost not worth rolling. It's a mundane, labeled as mundane.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to find where the chart is. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Difficulty of action: routine, straightforward, moderate, challenging. Yeah, so I'm going to say that this is a challenging thing. You're trying to remember something that you're not really. I mean,
yeah.
They just work for you. You don't really like. I mean, they were somebody that you weren't like super close with. You're not working with them every day. You're usually in before they get in and leave before they get leave after they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So locating the source of a whisper, creating a memorable piece of art. So maybe a 3, which is a moderately difficult thing. But you said you had 2 8s, a 1, and 2 9s? Or a 9?
2 8s, 1 9, a 3, and a 1.
Okay. So I think if you meet, you're good. Actually you do. You do. You specifically see that Hannah's car is not there.
So specifically, I think Ashley's question and something we should explain is like how we got to that being a success roll.
Yeah. So anything above
6 or
and we'll just call it so the way that it works is a 1 is a crit fail. So that would be an active failure.
Mm-hmm.
That would actively cancel out one of your successes.
Mm-hmm.
With not getting, or the 3 meets it, so it is just a barely success. Or if I had called it 1, it would be a failure, but not an intense failure. Or it's, ones are bad. Now, the other 3 successes that you have, each success you get above the first kind of multiplies or increases the competency value of the success. So it's a successful roll because you got at least 1 above the 3.
That wasn't canceled out.
That wasn't canceled out by the 1.
Mm-hmm.
So we would take the remaining 3 successes. Is that right? 4?
I had 3 successes in total.
So you have 2.
So no, you had 4 successes in total and you had 1 crit fail. So 4 minus 1 equals.
I had 4 successes?
3
No,
successes.
he had 3. He rolled 3 successes.
Didn't Justin say that the 3 barely meets?
3.
I think if you meet the check, it's good.
So
kind of like in D&D, where if you meet DC's 18, you get the 18.
So what I think might be a little confused. Spencer rolled 5 dice. 3 of those dice were a 6 or higher, and 1 of those was a crit fail.
Oh. Well, does it have to be 6 or higher? Or does it have to? Because I thought Justin said the number.
A 6 or higher counts as a success. We're trying to get a certain number of successes.
Okay, so then yes, he rolled 3 of them were successful. With the crit fail, he has 2 successes then.
Perfect. So yeah, you recognize that there is her car's not there. You remember what it looks like. And you're like, oh no. That's weird. Yeah, her car's not here. I don't recognize any of these other cars. Like if you had gotten 6 successes, you might have been able to recognize, for example, the freelance artists, if it was there, something like that.
Yeah.
Like a tangential thing,
Something else
5 successes or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you really killed that roll.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's other ways to pass. You can spend willpower and stuff like that. And if you had, for example, 6 die total, you could have just done it. It would have been like, we're good. Because the DC was 3. Twice the DC is an automatic success.
Yeah.
And you can just get the 1 success, which means you can do it. You're also opting out. When you do this, I like to play it this way. When you do that, you opt out of additional success benefits.
Yeah, you just get the bare minimum of what you were trying to do.
Yeah. So if you're under duress and you're like, I need to get this door open now with a strength check, boom, door is open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hypothetically, you could have gotten 3 or 4 successes over and gotten a nice bonus if you went for the roll.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Ashley, you had a quizzical look on your face.
Yes. So my understanding right now is that a success is considered rolling a 6 or higher.
Yep.
No, it's set on the DC, Ash.
No, it's not. The DC is just how many successes you're trying to get.
Oh, my bad. Thanks for correcting me on that.
So So if we're going by that, then that means that Spencer did not pass the check because he had 3 successes and 2 failures.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that he would have had 1 total success or 2 total successes because of the critical failure?
Spencer rolled 3 successes and 1
Right.
critical failure, and we're saying that a critical failure subtracts 1 success, so a total of 2 successes.
Okay. And the
Yeah.
3 that he rolled was a failure but doesn't subtract from the successes.
Correct.
Yep, that's just a die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he
Yeah,
did not.
and if we're saying that if it's
three.
your beat situation, then wait, it's got to be a 6, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, you pass the check.
But he didn't
know-
pass the check.
You're pretty sure it's not her card's not there.
Okay. It is decided.
I mean, he doesn't, regardless of if he passed the check or not, he doesn't think
That's
her
what I
card is
believe.
here.
Yeah,
It's true.
you're pretty
He doesn't
sure. No,
recognize it.
yeah, he doesn't recognize any of her cars. Pretty sure that's none of the cars in the parking lot at this time are theirs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want to take us further in, Z, to where the work site is?
Yeah. Right this way, and I start
Real
walking.
quick.
Oh.
Justin, I have an awareness of 3 with a specialization in instinct. I was wondering if, can I check, would that, bad vibes,
You want to get like a feel for the air of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me it.
All right. So I have 3 dots in awareness, and would I use instincts, or would instinct be more of like a reaction?
You know what? Let me see. Let me take a look at the book and see what instinct kind of tells us about, or if somebody can pull that up for me real quick.
So
what does instinct say?
There's awareness, and then instincts is a specialization of awareness. So I think instincts is up for interpretation, I guess, because there's no.
Roll it.
Okay, so would that be 4 pips then?
It would be.
Because I have 3 awareness.
You have 3 awareness, and how much?
I'd be rolling with mental.
Yeah, here, let me take a look at your character sheet real quick. All right. Yeah, let's do a wits and awareness.
So, okay. So just so I make sure I'm rolling this right.
You're going to have 6 in this pool.
Okay. So I wouldn't be adding my instincts specialization for this.
Oh, yeah. So pool of 7. I forgot that gives you an extra one. Pool of 7.
Okay. And it's D10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're rolling D10s, and you can roll that either via. I think I sent out a rudimentary invite for roll 20, but you can roll them if you got the D10s in front of you.
So I got 3 successes.
Okay, cool.
No critical failure. Cool.
3 total successes? Yeah. Feels weird. Feels weird, man.
The
Feels
vibes are not immaculate.
awfully weird. Yeah, and this isn't you're getting that feeling like you're being watched almost. You know what I mean? Like when you show up at a place and you're like, we shouldn't, something doesn't want us here.
Right.
Like when you go by like that old house, that feeling that, there's that old house on your street that you always walk a little faster past. You get that feeling right in your soul.
Yeah.
You're in the house.
I relay this information to the gang.
Yeah. A very Stay Frosty kind of moment.
Yeah.
Before I also lead everybody out to the site, I do dig into the back of the CN van or CN SUV, and I pull out a headlamp and I put like a headlamp onto my head. You know, like a little, basically a flashlight with a little elastic band that goes around your head.
Mhm.
So I have that on my head, and I turn it on and start leading the pack towards
Very
the
nice.
site.
Is everybody in Hobbit form?
I am.
Yeah, I think at this point.
For now.
I call you a nerd for putting on a headlamp.
I push up my glasses. I'm like, it's hard to see out here. I'm just being proactive. If the sun's going down, there's no lights out here. The sun's been down. So like,
It's like
there's
1
no
in the
light
morning,
here.
guys.
Yeah, it's like 1 in the morning.
Because it takes like what? So you guys went out probably like around sundown.
Yeah.
To been like 3 days later, but it's like same time frame. Still evening.
Yep.
Sun is down. Probably takes what to get back from Hawking Hills to Columbus? Like what? 2 hours?
Yeah.
An hour?
It's only like an hour.
Is it?
So
Yeah, it's close.
the sun sets at like 6:30. So.
Yeah. So it's probably about like 30 and getting out to the Barbie. So it's like it's like midnight, maybe 1 in the morning.
Okay, you were a little bit robotic there for a little bit.
I mean, we caught the
You're
important
good
bit
now.
at the end where he decided what time it was.
Yeah.
1 in the morning.
12:30.
I would like to use Eyes of the Owl or
Ooh.
and
Eyes of the Cat?
I would like to.
Eyes of the
Yeah,
Cat.
it's technically called Eyes of the Owl, but it can be through a cat spirit. So Eyes of the Cat.
Yeah.
And I can see in the dark.
Mark your willpower spent, please.
Yes, I have a total of 7 willpower, and I now have 6 out of 7.
I love that Kevin's doing this because I like to imagine I'm like ranting at Benny right now about how dark it is and how I need the headlamp, and then Kevin's just like, and then has magical eyes.
Yeah, he's fucking Mothman in the night. His eyes start to just like glow.
Yeah, they got a little faint glow. They got the little cat slit, kind of the more oblong, change shape a little bit.
Should I turn this off, Kevin? Does that?
It's a little bright. Yeah,
I
turn it off.
I put it on the red light mode.
Red. We can't afford red light modes.
Yeah. So Kevin, you can kind of see with that light. It's basically giving you enough to see like about how well a person would maybe like the evening light, not full daylight, but in the beam, pure daylight. Outside the daylight, where it's kind of spreading out and dissipating, you still get pretty good vision.
I assumed it was kind of just like dark vision.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what that is. All right. Sweet. Okay. So, you know about where Cops West is. It is on the west side of this park. You guys are going to have to make your way over there.
How far away is it? Do we know?
I mean, Batel Barbie is a pretty big park, so it's probably going to take you another hour to get out that way. Just because there's no
do
easy.
We have to take it on foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not big enough for your car. No, it's a walking trail.
Am I able to like pull out? Maybe I pull out like a little like coffee, like a little like iced coffee, like little can. And can I just drink one?
Yeah, it's not iced anymore because somebody forgot it. But you do find a little one of those little like Starbucks Frappuccino can thingies in the back.
I was thinking,
it's warm though, so it's kind of gross.
Yeah,
the absolute litter that these things cause.
I'm gonna recycle it though. It's made of aluminum.
The earth,
rather than plastic, I guess.
And I offer you. I'm like, do you want one, Kevin? Is this your roundabout way of asking for one? Here you are. Came in a 6-pack. Anybody else want one?
Chugs it all.
Sweet.
Sorry. When I find out that we have like 3 miles to go to get there, it's like an hour away on foot. I decide to shift into my lupus form, which is a free shift, because I feel like it's going to be easier to traverse distances, and perhaps a little quicker. So I'm going to like intermittently lope ahead and then wait for everybody to catch up.
So
How do you know which direction ahead is?
We showed her on the map.
Good question.
yeah, I mean, right. You guys know where you're going because Spencer knows where Cops West is. And if nobody did, Bill would have like given you some sort of like rudimentary map of where they were kind of doing.
Does Tyga know how to read a map?
Well, I mean, she understands what pointing is, right? So you're like, here's the map, here's where we're going.
Yeah.
But even more importantly than that, Tyga, you smell remnants of campfire,
Mm-hmm.
which is odd because there's no camping in this.
Can I tell which direction that's coming from?
Cops West.
Cops West, their directions we're going.
Yeah.
I
And
can't communicate that because I'm a wolf right now.
that's okay. You can express it and you can't verbalize it, but it's like when your dog wants you to follow him. You guys are wolf creatures. You get the subtle nuances of the way Lupins communicate. Now
Tyga like barks a little bit once, and I'm like, "What is it, girl? You smell the remnants of a campfire all the way down in the direction about a mile away?"
Yes.
It's too perfect.
Now everybody give me stamina and survival. Your difficulty will be 2.
Together.
Stamina plus survival is the roll. So for Heaven, that will be 2 dice. Z will get 2 dice. Benny will get fuck load. Benny gets 6.
Yeah, I get
Ashley, you will get 2, 4, 6, 8. No, you get 10.
I get 10.
Because you are in lupus form.
Oh.
And you're going to get a 2 dice bonus.
How many did I get again? I'm sorry, I missed that. You said 2d8?
2. So
2d10, sorry.
2d10. So it is your stamina plus your survival. And that's going to be that's the test.
Okay.
Ashley, you got even more because of your...
Yes, I rolled an additional 2d10. My question, though, is we discussed a 1 as a critical failure. Do we get anything for rolling 10s?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked. I'm instituting an old school rule because I want you guys to kind of be able to move through stuff a little quicker. It's called exploding 10s, which means that when you roll a 10 or the 0 on the D10 die, if you are using those die, if you are using the percentage die, viewers, that's the double 0. The 1-0 on your percentage die, that's a 1. If you get a critical success, roll it again.
Oh, that's so interesting. So on page 121, I like what you're doing, Justin. On page 121, it says like when you roll a result of 10 on 2 regular dice, it is a critical success and it counts as 2 additional successes above the 2 10s, which is so neat. But yours, I like your way too.
We can do that. That is, I think, probably mathematically better.
I actually got 2 10s, which is why I was...
Oh, okay. So I also think on that same page, if you get 2 10s, it counts as 3 10s.
So do I have like...
Each pair of 10s counts as its own critical success. So 3 10s would add to 5 successes, whereas 4 10s would count as 8.
So 3 10s is 5 successes. I have 7 successes then.
Nice.
So I think I'm good.
Yeah.
So you got 2? Okay.
I got 2 out of 2.
Very nice. Well done.
Ashley, I think you got 6 successes. That's 2 10s is 4 successes, and then a 6 and a 9 is 2 more for 6.
So I thought that Spencer said that 2 successes counted, 2 10s counted as 3 I was confused. I was slightly confused.
2 10s is 2 bonus successes in addition to the 2 they already count for. Every pair of 10s is an additional 2.
This is a bonus. Great. So then I have 6 successes. Either way.
Yeah.
Either way, you killed that roll. Did anybody?
Wow.
What
What
was-
was
Spencer.
DC.
I got
You needed
1.
2 successes.
Okay.
I failed.
All right,
I got 1.
you got 1. Anybody else fail?
I got 4. I'm good.
Okay, Spencer, you're going to take a superficial willpower damage because you're getting caught on Bram. You like your lamp is not helping.
It is hindering.
You're getting caught on brambles. You're like, oh, I
Hit
think
my
we go this
glasses.
way. Oh, yeah, you're getting frustrated.
Yeah, Taiga has to come back, push me in the right direction. I'm like, oh, okay, this way.
Yeah.
Can I? Does my seeing in the dark help me with anything here?
Oh,
Or is that the reason why I got my?
you know what? That's my fault. I should have given you like an extra die. That's my bad.
All good.
I should have given you an extra die because of that. But yes.
No, I should have helped
Normally
remind you. It's
speaking-
all good.
Normally speaking, yes. Yes, I should have given you an extra die for that. And honestly, I should have given Spencer an extra die just because he's using his lamp and trying to like be better at navigating.
I'm cool of keeping these results, but whatever you think, Justin.
no, that's okay. We'll keep it, but
Yeah.
just on me, and as our viewers are watching this, this was that was a little bit on me. And so when characters do try and take steps to make sure that they're doing a check well, or taking sane and moderate attempts to be a rational person in that situation, reward them. That's what this is for. It's for fun. We're all supposed to, if your characters or your troop is making genuine strides to navigate a situation competently, give them a bonus. So you're navigating. Yeah. You're getting there. As you get closer, because you're kind of having to navigate the wilderness. You go off trail at this point, right? And are you guys just kind of like plowing through the wilderness?
I definitely
Beelining
am.
it? Okay.
Yeah, I think we're going straight there. I personally am kind of looking out for other signs of someone going the same direction.
Oh, cool.
Recently.
Awesome. Give me an intelligence plus investigation.
Okay.
Dalton.
So for me, my intelligence is a 2, and my investigation is also a 2. So I'll be rolling 4
Okay,
dice.
so you got a dice pool of 4, and your DC is going to be 2 on this one.
That is only 1 success for me. I'm gonna do a thing. I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but I think you can. Well, are you allowed to spend? I'm asking about spending willpower. I'm trying to remember how to do that. Spend 1 point of willpower to re-roll up to 3 dice on any roll, including a roll involving gifts or other special advantages. So if I spend a willpower,
Before you do that,
Mhm.
you got a success.
I got 1 success.
You may reroll. You may do this. You don't have to.
That's fine. I want to do it just like we're doing stuff,
Okay.
playing the game.
Awesome.
Your character gets like an amount of willpower per session.
Like day. Yeah. If you rest,
Yeah.
you get some willpower back. But yeah. Yeah. No. Awesome. If you want to do that, By all means.
Yeah, I'll
spend that point of willpower, reroll.
I'll reroll the 3 dice that weren't successes, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll 4 successes now.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So you start to notice that there's some trash left along as you're kind of following. Ashley's helping you all follow. She actually picks up a little bit of a scent of some, and what it turns out, the scent that she picked up was people. You find some trash, like a pulled up stump where they pulled out an old stump trying to expand the trail into this part of the park. You also notice, because you got some of these extra successes, the trash seems to be arranged. This isn't just like, oh, I don't care about this piece of trash, blah, blah. The trash has been organized into piles and shaped. There are rocks that have been arranged strangely along this path.
Over like how big of an area is this?
Just as you're walking through the trail, you notice this, like a few branches were bound with twine into some geometric patterns. Clearly human beings have been out here, or something sentient has been out here, moving this stuff around purposefully, with some sort of end goal. This isn't just trash strewn about haphazardly. There are markings on the, actually, you said you got 4 successes, Tom? You notice a spiral carved into one of the trees.
Okay.
Just from inside going out like that,
Okay. So we've got spiral carved into the trees. We've got some stuff precariously, like purposefully laid out in some sort of pattern on the way there.
Do you point this out?
Yeah. I'm not trying to keep anything from anybody.
Justin, can I spend a little bit of time, maybe as we're like walking, to kind of look into this? The reason why I bring this up is that in investigation, I have a specialty in deduction, is what my specialty is. So
wait, hold on.
Yeah, what do you got, Dan?
This is another one of the things that I changed when my thing. My investigation was originally deduction, but I changed it to Moida.
Moida.
Just to make the Moida joke.
Moida.
Yeah, well, so Benny's pointed this out, and Z and Kevin will start looking at the various findings. So do me a favor. Give me an intelligence plus occult.
Occult.
Yep. So
DC. You guys are new. I don't want to make it too hard.
I have 0 in occult, so it's just going to be a dice.
Let's bump this up to 3.
So here's how this works. If 2 or more characters can effectively work together on a task, such as chasing down prey or breaking into the supply depot, you roll the largest pool among the participants, adding 1 additional die for each character assisting who has at least 1 dot in the skill involved. If no skill is involved, anyone can assist.
Thank you, Dalton. That's awesome. Okay, so whoever has the highest stats among this intelligence and occult, whoever has most occult, whoever has most intelligence, you're going to roll those pools together. So let's see. You will use, Kevin, your int is 3, and Z, your int is also 3. So your int pool will be 3, and then neither of you have occult. Nope. Give me a little freezies on the DC.
So
we're gonna need
I
You're gonna
can't
need-
help Dan because I don't have anything in the skill, right, Dalton?
So
Is that how it
No,
works?
so you because if one of you had int 4,
Yeah.
you'd roll 4 die plus 1 because you're working together.
Okay.
So instead, you would roll 3, and we're going to add 1 because you're working together.
Mm.
So
do I get +1 because I can see like and actually examine like the different shapes and stuff?
from your cat eyes? In this situation, no, because like this isn't like if you were trying to notice it, like so for example, like when we were walking along the trail for noticing this stuff kind of offhand, yes.
Got
But
it.
now that you found it, Ashley, to bring you up to speed. No, that's okay. You've been walking along the trail, and Dalton started to, or Benny started to investigate along the trail, just keeping a sharp eye out.
Mhm.
And he noticed that in addition to finding just kind of regular trash along the trail, fairly fresh trash, that there's been instance of human activity. A stump has been pulled up, or sentient being activity. They found kind of, like the Blair Witch symbol floating from one of the trees. Dalton also got quite a few successes. So he notices that there is a subtly carved spiral into one of the trees that they passed along the trail. It's not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
And now the group is trying to roll intelligence plus occult to see if there's any sort of significance to any of their findings.
So we would get 4, right? Because it's me and Spencer's intelligence is 3, and then we would get +1 because Spencer's helping me.
Let's see if Ashley's character might be able to help.
Cool. So we're gonna
perfect.
up that pool. We're gonna up that. Ashley, you you can look at it, but you're still in lupin form. So not that really matters right this second, but just keep that in mind. But I will give you the full pool of 8.
No,
Wait, what did you say? You have 3 in occult, Ashley?
I have 3 in occult.
So
The specialty in Umbra.
So when we're doing this, how I'm kind of interpreting the rules is each person trying to do the thing will look at what their pool is going to be, adding up their mental stat and their skill stat. You said it was intelligence and occult
plus occult.
So
Yeah.
Ashley, what is your intelligence plus
4.
occult? 4. Dan, what is your intelligence plus occult?
3.
Spencer, what's your intelligence plus occult? 3.
3.
So Ashley, her pool is the biggest one, so that's what we're going to use. And we add 1 to that for everybody that can feasibly assist, meaning that they have some amount of points. It does say that they can have points in the skill to be able to assist. And
This is on page 122. Yeah.
Right.
Z and Kevin don't have any points in occult. They don't have any experience with it or knowledge of it. They feasibly wouldn't be able to assist.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Ashley.
And Benny assist?
I do. I have
4
one.
dice then.
I have 1 point in occult, I believe. Let me make sure of that. Which fucking column is it in? Yes, two. Middle in the left column. I have 1 point.
You do. And that actually makes a lot of sense for your character because you need to recognize stuff to be able to call it out as the enforcer type.
Yeah. So Ashley, you had a pool of, you said 4 initially, and I'm going to help. So you add 1 to that for a total.
I like
5.
Shift back into my Hamid form to discuss my results with you.
I like to imagine this started off as me and like Kevin start like Z and Kevin being like, "Hey, Benny just played this. You want to investigate this? Yeah, let's look into this." And we're like trying as hard as we can, and we're like feeling like we're like a buddy duo or buddy cop and having a good time. And then like Benny like goes over to Taiga and is like, "Hey, can you actually help me point this out?" And then you guys actually solve it.
Unfortunately, we probably don't.
Oh no!
I only had 1 success out of 5, which is
Oh. Yeah, unfortunately, you know this is out of place, but you don't know what it is.
yeah.
Like, this is obviously not where it belongs.
In that case, I don't even switch back to a Hamid form. I just kind of make the equivalent of shrugging my shoulders as a wolf.
Yeah, a little whine whinny sort of thing, and then we're off.
Yeah.
Yep. Unfortunately, you guys missed that one, but it's okay. Let's keep moving on.
Meanwhile, I'm like, Kevin, do you think this is a skunk that did this? This is probably a skunk spirit.
No, I think it's a shrew spirit.
Shrew. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Mhm.
Are they even native to Ohio?
So we'll give you, since you did get 1 success in general. This doesn't look like it was made with a knife.
Can I tell what it does? Like a chainsaw? Like
No. It's some sort of sharp implement, but not. It's too wide to be just a plain knife, and it's too detailed to be made with maybe an axe or something like that. You're not quite sure.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So,
am I still heading towards the campfire site?
Yeah, you guys actually are, and as you get closer, and you really start to notice these spirals closer to this opening. The trees. You notice that there's a good deal of light up ahead coming from the moon. And what you find deep within this Copse West is a glade with a oddly circular structure to it, about 50 meters in diameter. 150 feet or so, 60. The glade has ankle-high grass, little tall, not overgrown. Very easy to traverse, though. Would look like barren rose bushes, which is odd because roses don't really grow in Ohio so much. However, the
says
one part.
Yeah, but like naturally so.
Yeah, it's not wild. Yeah. I'm just messing.
You also notice that at the edge of the glade, the trees seem to be bare on their sides that face the glade.
Like
oddly so, even for
season.
even for given the fact that it's fall and some of the leaves have started to fall. It's not just an autumnal barrenness, because any of the conifers also are bare that face the you also let's see. You also notice that there are 4 oblong mounds. About
Are they human?
6 feet long. Going laterally so. Maybe about 2.5, 3 feet wide.
So human size. Can I go?
They might look human sized. They might look human-sized if you had to guess.
I would like to go smell the mounds.
Oh, they smell like dead bodies. You smell rot. Also, because our characters with occult, these were ritually organized.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of rite was done here. Not right.
Yeah,
Some sort of
gonna
ritual.
ask. Yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, do you
Some
mean
sort of
garou rite
ritual
or just something
was
else?
done here.
This is just some spiritual
The
ritual.
holes are the mounds are dung. There are 4 oblong mounds, and an empty hole of similar shape, arranged into kind of a 5-pointed star, like an asterisk sign, sort of. You also smell actually fresh earth. These are recent.
These are recent.
Mm-hmm. The earth has been recent. You can tell because you're a wolf. You know these things. This is recently turned earth, and you smell decay, specifically human.
Yeah.
There is also it's not just human in the air, but these mounds specifically smell human.
Is my nose sharp enough to smell which one stinks the least?
Oh, they all stink about the same.
They all stink about the same. Can I dig at one of the mounds?
Yeah, you can.
I would like to do so that I can reveal what is presumably a body to the rest of the party.
Yep. You do, and it is. It is. Pow, 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 pow. Pick a number 1 through 4.
I'm gonna roll for it.
Cool.
2. Grave number 2, my lord.
All righty. Oh. So, as you dig, you
But
discover
before we do this, actually, is there any litany rules about desecrating a grave?
Well, if there were,
that my
what's here
character
doesn't violate
or
it.
Z's character would care about?
Oh no, I'm gonna guess you have the occult one, and being a enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
No, these are humans.
Okay.
Something is a rite was performed here, or a ritual was performed here that is not sanctioned garou.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're not breaking any
Nope.
taboos by digging up a corpse. Okay.
Yeah, there's
are my instincts telling me anything?
the hair on on your neck, and I'm going to keep your success from earlier. It's going to carry through this whole scene.
Okay.
The hair on the back of your neck is straight up. Something's. You can't put a finger on it. Something's off.
Mm-hmm.
This is, your instincts. You don't know anything about the cult, but if you had to look at this and you were like, "Hey, man, if I was in a horror movie, I'd run the other fucking direction right now."
I pull out my crossbow.
Okay, crossbow's out, loaded. You're cool. The glade itself is oddly quiet. It's something that you've noticed as you've been getting the regular flora or the regular fauna that would be active this time. You don't see anything. Like bats are not flying through the glade.
Oh,
You don't hear crickets so much. I mean, you hear them in the distance. Ashley digs up one of the graves.
Number 2.
Find number 2 to find a younger man.
I whine and try to. I'm sure everybody sees that I did this, but I want them to come.
I'd like to do a murder investigation to see if I could tell how he was moited.
Oh, yes. Yes, you can. Dan?
Yeah.
The body has been largely exhumed. Give me a wits plus medicine or investigation at a DC 2, and between medicine and investigation, you can pick your higher one. I don't really care.
Okay, so I am going to pick investigation, and I have a specialization in Moida.
Moida!
So
Moida.
that I have 3 wits, 2 investigation, plus the 1 from Moida. So that'll be 3. So
Okay.
I'll roll. And what's the DC?
2. I need 2 successes that meet the 6.
Oh, I just got a 10 in there too.
Oh yeah.
Reroll that bad boy.
So I roll like what, 1?
You
One
reroll
D10.
the 10.
Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3 successes, I guess.
Excellent. Pass that DC. DC was only 2, so you only needed 2 successes. This male, you can tell, was about 30, maybe late 20s. Mid 25 to 30. And you notice that his heart has been
Removed.
I don't want to say surgically, because that implies a level of competency that isn't here, but purposefully removed in a fashion that was like done not by someone who has expert medical knowledge, but almost like a serial killer would carve out your heart
Efficiently.
Yeah, like the sternum is kind of like
Right.
snap, you know what I mean, like or it's cut under, and then they kind of got in there kind of nasty.
Yeah.
And they're missing their heart.
Oh,
So I relay that information to everyone. Just, hey, this is my observation. Do we know any rites or any kind of rituals or anything that require a human heart?
If anybody that has a cult wants to give me an intelligence plus occult roll.
Cult's really coming in handy this session.
I can do so.
Okay. Dalton, are you going to help her out?
yep.
Cool. Give yourself the extra die. DC 2. Because you're taking your time, you're searching your brain. This can be considered a routine deal.
I have 2 successes.
Oh, excellent. Wonderful. This is no garou ritual. What was done is not in accordance with anything that you know of. This was heresy. So you also notice that while you're examining the bodies, that this young man's face has been marked on the chest with a ashes.
Oh.
And that
Are they in any kind of pattern?
yeah, it's in a pattern that would indicate like the flow of essence through your body
Oh.
into what would have been a focus that upon further investigation you don't see. This is some sort of channeling of energy ritual into something physical that is not present at the scene.
There are 2 things that I would like to do.
Absolutely.
The first thing I would like to do is I would like to spend 1 willpower and use my free action to activate my penumbral senses. So that gift is something that lets a garou attuned to both the physical realm and the Umbra at once, enabling them to perceive both worlds simultaneously without penalty.
Oh.
I
And
was hoping you do this.
yeah, so the pool is intelligence plus wisdom, and it's against the difficulty of the local gauntlet, which ranges from 2 to 5. So if successful, I can perceive and interact with denizens of both aspects of existence without penalty at the storyteller's discretion. So my intelligence plus wisdom is a total of 2, unfortunately. But we're gonna hope for
Your occult plus what?
it's intelligence plus wisdom, and it's only a 2, unfortunately. But I'm going to try anyways.
Yeah, go for it. Since Benny has occult, I'll let him help you in the ritual. Give yourself an extra die.
Just to let you know, I also have numeral senses. And my intelligence is 3 and my wisdom is 2. So that would be a pull.
Spencer can help you. Give yourself the extra die because you're piercing the veil together.
I think we want to swap it. So
I help Spencer.
yeah.
Yeah. Use Spencer's good stats and do it. The goal is for you to pass here.
Yeah.
Okay. So 60-10 because it'd be 5 normally, but I get the +1 because Ashley also has the skill. So should I just minus the willpower then? Does Ashley, or we both minus the willpower, right? So
use whoever's stats are higher.
Okay. And I just marked it down as
holy crap.
Oh, that's 3 10s.
All right, you got it. No, you got it. Don't worry about it. You got it. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of information. That's awesome.
Okay.
I'm going to use for here. We're going to use the double counting on the no exploding with this one. You're just going to get the bonus successes. So you guys set up your little ritual thing, and your vision begins to shake, and as the veil between the two realms becomes merged, you hear screaming out of nowhere, kind of in the center of your skull. Both of you in the center of your skulls. Crying. You feel pain as if every neuron on your you have an internal sunburn. As you regain your senses, and this, kind of somewhat pain, this sunburny-esque pain subsides. It almost looks like a bomb went off in the very center of all of these graves. And there's lines radiating out, almost like a fiery explosion went off.
Yeah.
Centered. As you perceive, you notice that there are spirits. The trees have started to lean in. They notice you. Animal spirits, and the wind itself see you here in the copse. But notice that there is they don't seem hostile to you. They know you are not here to defile the place further. You also notice that the rose bushes seem to be fully in bloom. even though they're dead. And you hear one of them. Hey.
Oh. Hello? Hello?
Hello, spirit.
Oh.
Do you know what happened here?
Oh. Fire. Pain.
Hmm.
The light.
What did
Darkness.
the perpetrator look like?
Man. Man took the other men.
How many?
Came as 6. One left. The other left later. 4 stayed. 4 should not have stayed.
And I point at the body, and can I go? Can I say one of the 4?
One of the 4.
Too
Okay. Early.
And then I point to the other mounds and I say, three rest of the 3 of the 4.
4 went in the ground. 1 fell to ground. Left. One angry, but not alone. Evil spirit. And
What?
the man.
What kind of spirit? Do you know?
Mean.
Yeah.
Eating the man.
Eating.
Drinking. Spirit.
Consuming. Right. What do you know what direction they went?
Away.
Right. Yeah. Away. Okay.
I stay here.
Yes, you do.
Rooted to Gaia.
Yes.
Change from before.
From before. What were you before?
Always was. Well, grow into now. Home was different. Home was nicer. Dark spirits came. Down paths. Down deep paths. Home no longer protected by you. Garou came. Garou came back, not Garou.
No. Were the men who were here earlier, were they Garou?
Man? No, just
No.
man.
Just man. Okay.
Not spirit of Gaia. Spirit of worm. With
That makes sense. With man. You said we're not Garou?
man was not Garou. Garou was supposed to watch over us. We're here. Left. Thought Garou came back. No. Then
I'm sorry, little one. We're here now. We'll protect this place.
you also see kind of like give me a wits and awareness test from you two.
So my wits is 4, and my awareness is 2.
Okay.
So my wits is 3.
No, just. Oh wait. Actually, yeah. I mean, you guys could help. You guys got to call this out though. So how are you?
2 and 2 for me, so 4 total.
Okay, so whoever has the biggest pool.
I have 6.
Kevin, I don't think we're in the vision. Like we're not like.
Yeah, you see Spencer talking to a dead rose bush.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's there too.
Yeah, she's like nodding along. And, I mean, she's still in Lupin form, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you see these two weirdos like just very into this rose bush, apropos of nothing.
But I do like to think that Dan, as Kevin hears my questions, maybe he'll propose his own questions, and then I'll ask the plan.
Okay, so you're relaying all of everything that you see.
Yeah. So, but I'll go ahead and roll the 60-10. Is actually helping me because that would make it a 7.
Give me a second. Yeah. Do the bonus.
So that is 2 10s, 2 1s, another 2 successes, and then 1 failure. So
So the 9 and the 7 would get canceled.
Okay.
1 and the 1.
So you passed. It was DC 3. We're going to count those as double successes. So you got 4. DC 3. You notice there's a smooth soapstone as you're kind of like picking up the body. You notice that like it kind of pulses a little bit. It's a little shiny-esque, like you notice a silver coin, but it turns out that it's a soapstone with runes carved into it.
Hand it to probably Benny and Tygo.
Yep. And you notice that there are crystals carved into spear points buried alongside the soapstones.
Interesting.
I would like to shift into the glabro form.
Okay. Spend, let's see, I
How
need
does a rage check work?
so you just roll 1 die.
Mm-hmm.
And rage.
Rage?
We're all learning together on this one.
133 is when rage dice kind of come into play.
Cool. Page 133. Thank you.
Says for each point of rage possessed by a character, 1 rage die replaces one of their regular dice when assembling dice pools. Rage dice function like regular dice, but the 1 and 2 faces are considered special. Each is a brutal die result for like a 1 and a 2.
Okay.
I can read more if we want, but
yeah, keep reading.
I'll do the summary. The rage dice summary. For every point of rage, replace a regular die with a regular die with a rage die in pools. Rage dice have similar faces to 10-sided, except that 1 and 2 are considered brutal die results. 2 or more brutal results cause a brutal outcome, usually causing the test to fail unless the goal was to cause harm or damage. Brutal die results cannot be re-rolled by spending willpower. So it looks like it's a mechanic that rage dice like change your dice pools, but rage checks is at the top of page 133. And that says when a garou wants to release their rage-born powers, their player makes a rage check with a single die, like Justin just said. On a win, a 6 or better, the garou's rage stays the same, but a failed check, 5 or less, causes their rage to drop by 1 point. Make the rage check at the same time as the act provoking it, ideally with its own identifiable die. So
Okay, so I am shifting into this form.
Yep.
And
you need to do 1 rage check.
10 to see if I maintain my rage or if I've spent a rage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think you do also I'm curious how
That's
that interacts with the brutal result faces.
Yeah.
If those come up here.
Because she also just got a 10.
Okay, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do I keep the rage I have?
You keep your raging. You don't have to spend a rage point to change form.
I do have a question from previously. Did we gain rage from the ritual at the very beginning? The rite?
No, that's like one of those like social things that doesn't really have
Cool.
a lot of.
Sounds good.
I did because I had kind of worked on that scene a little bit beforehand. I hope you guys liked it.
I did.
It was cool.
Yeah. So, but no, that doesn't give you any rage. We didn't do any of the formal rituals that have kind of structures to them. The rite of passage is largely a storytelling device. It calls it out in the book. It specifically calls out the rite of passage as a great way to start session 1.
Yeah.
And I thought that, being given your task to become full-fledged garou was a good way to kind of lead into this and set up what we need to be doing, as well as giving a lot of the background information that they talk about that I also thought would be beneficial for you to have instead of just flying blind into this situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I transitioned into the Glabro form, and I wanted to, kind of share what we'd all been hearing and all of that information, since I'm in a form that has a functioning larynx. And then I also wanted to examine the soapstone, and I'm assuming
Yes.
intelligence and occult.
I think that's right, but let me double check. West in the Umbra.
And I do have an Umbra specialty, if that is relevant at all here.
Not here, but intelligence plus occult. Yes.
Is Benny going to help me?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I can help you because I can see like the soapstones and all of these things.
Yeah. That's in the physical realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That is going to be 4 successes.
Oh shit! Awesome.
Yeah, I pull out my smartphone and I scan it with Google Lens and see what comes up on the internet.
You notice these runes are unique to the cult of Fenris.
Oh.
I scowl.
How do you spell that?
Yeah.
Same with the spear points. These would have been used in some sort of murder ritual done by them.
Is there blood on it?
Yeah, so because you guys have gotten a bunch of checks done, you kind of notice that this looks like some sort of ritual suicide.
Mm.
And then the bodies and then Dan notices, specifically because of his medical check, that these wounds were all done post-mortem.
Interesting.
Dan, you got a bunch of successes on your thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
So you guys, Dan notices that he's like, yeah, this guy's like 27. These wounds, he there's some sort of, you can tell there's like blood kind of coming out of his eyes, and his mouth is a little frothy, like he took some sort of poison.
Yeah. And I want to specify that this isn't a med check.
Investigation check, but you also know about like things like the Jonestown murder,
Because I was an office worker. Well, not an office worker, but I worked from home, and all I really had available to me not all I had available. I listened to a lot of true crime podcasts to
Mhm.
to kill time.
Yeah.
So that's how my stat is so high.
There's some signature poison elements here. This looks, with all of it.
Every true crime podcast.
You guys are figuring out that this was some sort of suicide ritual.
Even though we're kind of coming to conclusion that a lot of these guys committed suicide before this, I like to think that maybe Z gets a little bit anxious and goes, Tyga, can you quickly dig up the other bodies? Make sure it's not Hannah.
I will do so.
You can dig too,
a
big
little
guy.
bit less efficient because I am
She's already in the form. It's going to be easier for her.
Well, I switched into my Glabro form, so it'll be less efficient, but I can still do it, and I will. I did have one other question. Do Benny or I know much about this cult?
Some.
What would we know about the cult beyond that it exists?
They're religious fanatics.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that basically the existence of humans are anathema, and every human that isn't being used to a purpose to benefit Gaia is a blight. Any werewolf that doesn't blindly and fervently follow me to T and result with violence at every end is a true Garou. They believe themselves to be even their vision of Garou society, their vision of fighting the worm.
So would it be safe to assume that this is a cult of Garou rather than a cult of man?
Oh yeah, the cult of Fenris is a fallen. Yeah, so you also know that the cult of Fenris were once some of your fiercest warriors who lost their way to the worm in their zealous bloodlust. They are old world wolves who have no patience for any sort of tolerance or mediation or middle. There is no middle ground. They fell to this zealotry centuries ago and have been let me see. What else? Yeah, without Umbra.
I'm guessing that Hannah's not going to be one of the bodies. I think that it's just.
Oh, yeah, you've dug up.
I did dig up all the rest of the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 2 men and 2 women.
Oh no. Do I recognize?
You do not recognize Hannah to be among them.
I take a deep sigh of relief.
Here we go. The cult of Fenris is an object lesson in the perils of Hauglosk. According to many Garou, the fall of the cult was the point of no return in the collapse of the Garou nation. The cult of Fenris is itself but a single facet of a greater tribe pledged to Wolf. But the cult raised its collective voices louder, and those who pledged to Wolf either joined them or found membership among other tribes. At a great meeting, the cult of Fenris called for one final glorious charge into the worm's maw to avert the apocalypse, but the assembled Garou of other tribes called out their rally as suicide, whereupon most of the cult of Fenris camp decided that all Garou had fallen. and only the cult's pure vision could serve Gaia. After torturously long and bloody duel among the champions of the tribes at a grand moot, renowned Garou solemnly declared a deadlock, and the cult of Fenris abandoned the tribes to their fates, pledging enmity and exiting the gathering. Pledging their enmity and exiting the gathering. The tribe's outlook is one of non-falsifiable orthodoxy. Impurity is everywhere, and everything is the worm's fault. And to disagree with this perspective is proof of one's own collusion with the worm.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's more, but I'm not going to go into it because I want to keep some of the stuff hidden from you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know that with 4 successes, you know that.
Cool.
I share that information. We have discovered that Hannah is not among the bodies, and I think that's where we need to wrap up for the day, right?
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. I love that we got a little spirit action in there.
No, it was very cool.
And that is.
I also like to imagine the app that Benny used. Maybe Kevin wrote the code for that.
Oh yeah, Kevin. He's been a huge help in founding WolfNet. Or the Wolf Web, the Dark Wolf Web.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just needed a way for.
Yeah, actually, good job. There. You might have. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
I think
Attributions?
Yeah.
We can go through them real quick.
Mhm.
Thank you to it's published by Renegade now, right?
Mhm.
Werewolf the Apocalypse.
Yeah, Werewolf the Apocalypse is now published and owned by Renegade Games.
Yep.
Thank you, Renegade. This has been this. I played this game back when it was White Wolf. You guys have done such a good job. Thank you so much for all of your hard work.
You can buy Werewolf the Apocalypse or any of the World of Darkness, obviously, at your local game store. Renegade does have their own website and currently has a spooky sale going on right now for their month of darkness. So check that out.
Is the Humble Bundle still going on?
The Humble Bundle is still going on. So please, if you're a fan of Humble Bundle, you can get Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning, the 2 other core main rulebooks of the World of Darkness, along with a bunch of supplements, some major supplements like Camarilla and Anarch for Vampire the Masquerade, and a bunch of other stuff, only for like $18 on Humble Bundle. So,
Hey, y'all, if you are watching this and that deal hasn't expired, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Go support these guys. These people, they're doing a great job with this game. Help them out.
Yeah.
I know.
We used Roll20 for our rolls today. Thank you to Roll20. It is a free program. There is a membership you can apply for it. I'm currently on it, but it is great. Speaking of Humble Bundle, they also have an Everything for Your Adventures of Roll20 exclusive Humble Bundle. You get Dune Adventures in the Imperium. You get Pathfinder 2nd Edition Beginner Box and a bunch of other stuff, including Tales from the Loop and the Fallout role-playing game, all bundled together for Roll20, and that plus membership for 1 month for $30. And they have more stuff they're adding to it beginning of November. Also, Cyberpunk map bundle. You saw us just playing Cyberpunk right before this campaign, so they got maps for you. So, huge thank you to Roll20. Yeah, is there anybody else we need to? HeroForge. HeroForge is where we made our 3 different forms: our Krenos, our Hominid, and our Lupus forms. Thank you. I was so glad that all of us could make not only all 3 of those forms for all of our characters, but also that each of them are pretty unique. I really like that. So thank you, HeroForge, for allowing us to make our characters and do all that fun stuff. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, to those of you who have watched the whole stream, we thank you a lot. We know it was a little long. There's a lot to go through. This was just Act 1. We have 2 more to go through. Stay tuned. See where our player characters, the troop ends up. We still have a little bit more to finish up at the ritual site here, but we're going to finish that up real quick in the next session and then move on to Act 2. As always, thanks for watching. We do it for you guys. We love you.
Yeah.
Stay learning, stay hungry.